Why you aren't closing clients as a video editor. This has nothing to do with your skills. This has nothing to do with your portfolio or with you not wanting to take sales calls or with you being bad at English, whatever the excuse that has just came up in your mind. It's not the case, and it has everything to do with you just not caring enough about the client. So let me kind of expand on this. Basically, how it works is every time we spend money, every time we buy something, we are going from our current state to our desired state. And for your potential video editing client, for a prospect that you're speaking with, this current state can be the fact that they are posting videos on YouTube, but the videos are shitty. It can be the fact that they are posting on YouTube, but the upload schedule is just very inconsistent. Or it can be the fact that they aren't posting on YouTube yet and they just want to get started. And obviously, because their starting point is different, their ending point is different as well. Their desired situation is going to differ from one case to another. Now, why am I even telling you all this sales psychology knowledge behind why clients will buy from you, why clients will actually pay you for your video editing services? Is because as a video editor, it's actually very easy to close clients. You don't need to have crazy sales skills. What I just described with their current situation and their desired situation is literally all you need to know. And your job is to position yourself as someone who can take them from here to here. If you can position yourself here in the middle as this bridge from the current situation to their desired situation, they're gonna pay you money. So let's talk about how you can position yourself here in the middle as this bridge and why you aren't closing clients as a video editor. So like I said, you aren't closing clients as a video editor is because you just don't care about them enough. You aren't trying to figure out enough things about their current situation. You aren't trying to figure out what their desired situation is. All you're trying to do is to just take their money and hope that whatever you have in your head of their current situation and their desired situation is actually what's happening in the reality. However, here's the issue. When we spend money, we obviously want to know and be sure in the fact that we are buying the right thing. So imagine you want to buy anything, whatever, let's say an apple, and you go to a store and instead of showing you all the fruit they have available, they're just gonna have one big section with black boxes. And inside those black boxes, they might have bananas, they might have apples, they might have, I don't know, tangerines. Some fruit is going to be inside the black box, but keep in mind that you want an apple. And chances are you aren't going to spend your money until you know that in that black box there is an apple. But the store just isn't telling you, so chances are you're just going to walk out the store and go to the store that's going to show you, okay, we have an apple, we have a banana, and we have a tangerine. Please choose which one you want to buy, and we're going to charge you money for that. If you aren't closing clients right now, you are being a store who has all their fruit in these black boxes and aren't trying to figure out what the customer wants and what they should deliver to the customer. So personally, I have never taken a sales call with my actual video editing clients that, I try to basically close and make them pay me money. It was all over DMs. Always. So I don't think you need to be taking sales calls. I don't think you need to be skilled at that. All you need to do, the only mindset shift you need to make is that you want to go from I'm trying to make them pay me money to I'm trying to figure out how can I help them. Trust me, if you make just this one switch, it's going to become so much easier to close clients because what you're going to be doing when you adopt this switch is like, okay, you're not going to start off immediately saying your price to them or something like that. You're going to first try to figure out what their current situation is. So you're going to be asking them all sorts of different questions, like what's not working right now with your channel, what's not working right now with your videos, how many videos are you looking to upload per month, what style of videos are you looking to make, and all these things. Honestly, sometimes the prospect isn't even gonna have the full answer themselves. And in that case, if you can help them figure out what they're looking for and what's gonna be best for them, then it's going to be best case scenario because it's going to be just very natural for them to actually see you as this bridge from the current state to their desired state if you actually help them figure out what their desired state is. Because to go back to our analogy with stores, imagine that you didn't know that you want an apple, you just knew that you wanted something sweet and something that's going to be kind of refreshing on a summer day, okay? And you met this guy who's standing on the side of the street and is selling all sorts of things. And you just come up to him and you say, I want something that's gonna refresh me and I want it to be sweet. So we know your current situation, you are basically not refreshed and you are craving something sweet, but we still need to figure out what your desired situation is. Because sure, it's gonna be you being refreshed and you not craving something sweet anymore, but it's still not very clear how we're actually gonna get you from here to here. And this is what that guy who stands on the side of the road, on the side of the street, is gonna help you figure out. So he's gonna be like, well, look, I have bananas, they are sweet, but they're definitely not gonna refresh you. And I have these tangerines over here, but actually right now it's not the season and tangerines in summer are kind of shit. So what I highly recommend to you are these apples. And you know, they're gonna make you the most refreshed you've ever been, and they're gonna totally satisfy your sweet cravings. Obviously, after that, the next obvious choice for you is just gonna be buy an apple from this certain guy, even if it's like 50% more expensive than, you know, walking to the other store that sells those exact apples, just because it just makes sense. This guy actually figured out how to help you. He understands your situation. That's the main thing. He understands that your current situation is this, your desired situation is that, and he's offering you the exact solution that's gonna be this bridge between the two situations. So the only obvious choice, a choice that anybody would make, is to just buy an apple from this exact guy because you feel understood. And that's how you need to make your prospect, video editing prospect, feel as well. You need to make them feel understood. You need to make them feel like, okay, this video editor guy, he not only, you know, he cares about how he can make the flashiest animation in my video so that then he can post it on his Twitter, but he actually realizes that maybe I don't want to have this particular type of animations in my videos, or maybe, you know, I don't care as much about having really good editing in my videos, and I'm actually just looking for someone who's going to be extremely reliable and who's still going to have great quality, let's say for the intro, but then I don't need actual editing for the video because that kind of repels my audience and that makes me sell less of my product. I don't need any of that. I just need you to be reliable, and I just want you to edit the intro in this specific way that's going to resonate with my target audience. If they tell you all that, then okay, they already know exactly what their dream outcome is. So you just basically need to reassure them that, okay, I understand you. I'm not going to be editing in the same way as you see on my portfolio for my other clients. I'm going to be doing exactly this because this is exactly what you need. But if you help them figure out all these things that I just mentioned, like, you know, okay, maybe it's going to be better for you not to do this specific type of videos because your audience doesn't resonate with that as much. So maybe it's better for us to do just something more simple where I'm going to be editing the intro in this specific way where it's just going to be very sophisticated, it's not going to be very flashy, and that's actually going to be resonating with your audience the most. If you can help them figure that out, that's going to be even better. But yeah, at the very least, just reassure them that you actually understood them, that you understood all of their points, exactly what they're looking for. And only after all that, only after all the logistics are figured out, only after you understand and you, more importantly, you make them feel understood. But how you make them feel understood is you understand, anyways, you understand what their current situation is, you understand what their desired situation is, you reiterate it on the fact that, yeah, I can actually get you from here to here. Only then you say your price at the very end. And if you feel like after saying your price, you need to add something, you know, at the end of that message, you still have something that's not said, or you still have something that isn't figured out just yet, then it's not the time to say your price. Figure that thing out and only then say your price. Now, with all this, there's a caveat because, you might be getting inbounds on Twitter, or you might be speaking to them on Instagram or something like that, or even on the email, where things get lost very, very easily. So you need to keep that in mind as well when you're speaking on those platforms. With every extra question you ask about their desired and about their current and their desired situations, you essentially increase the chance of you getting ghosted. So the smartest move, if possible, if it's applicable, would be to just funnel them immediately to something very personal, like their WhatsApp. I think WhatsApp is the best place to be speaking to their clients because WhatsApp is something very personal. It's actually tied to your phone number. You don't have all these randoms messaging you there, and you aren't going to get lost, and you're going to be able to figure out current situation, desired situation. You're going to be able to let them know fully that, okay, I'm the bridge who can get you from here to here. I understand your issues. I'm going to do exactly what you need, and my price is this. And on none of these steps, you're going to get ghosted if you're on WhatsApp. But if it's impossible to convert them from these sort of non-personal platforms like social media or email to something personal like WhatsApp, then obviously you need to play into that. You need to sort of decrease your number of questions and maybe go for kind of like an 80-20 approach. In that case, do some research as well. So not just ask them questions, but actually do your research on the prospect, on their channel, what type of videos they're creating, maybe find the product that they're selling and show them that you care in a way that, you're not going to be asking questions, but you're going to write them this message saying like, okay, I just checked out your channel. I see that you're making 12 to 15 minute talking head videos and you're trying to sell your whatever they're trying to sell. Since you want to change up your style a little bit, here's a reference that I think is gonna fit your channel and your target audience the best. And then you just link that reference video. And that's going to be you making it frictionless for them to respond, because that's really what you're going for on these social platforms and the email, making it frictionless. Because imagine if maybe they are actually going to see your message and they're going to open it, but on these non-personal platforms, there is so much stuff going on. So if they need to think and put a lot of effort into responding, then that's going to increase the chance of you getting ghosted. But if you just make it super easy for them, literally saying like, yes, this is exactly what I'm looking for, or no, this is not what I'm looking for, then that's gonna decrease the chance of you getting ghosted, which at the end of the day is what we want. However, I would be always trying to funnel them to something personal, especially if you provided some sort of value to them. So let's say you were doing value first outreach, where you emailed them with a CTA, something like reply yes, and I'm gonna send you a 30-second edit. If they reply yes to that email, you send them the edit, they get back to you, immediately funnel to the WhatsApp, because they already know, okay, this guy isn't a total bum, at least he actually followed through on his promise and made this re-edit. So, it's going to be worth for them to give you their WhatsApp. And then on the WhatsApp, you do all the negotiations. And honestly, you'll be surprised how flexible people's budgets are, especially if you are, I would say, in this category of like 250 to 500 per video. People, usually it's solo creators who don't have huge businesses or something like that running, and they're just essentially investing their own money into this, and they can be a bit more flexible with that than you think. But even if it's not from this category that I just said, still people can be flexible if they understand this value, if they feel understood regarding their current situation, if they feel understood regarding their desired situation, if they feel like the bridge is tailored specifically to them, not you just copy pasting edits from your other clients, but you actually making effort to adjust your services specifically to them. Trust me, you'll be very surprised how flexible people are with their budgets in this case, because this pain of going from their current situation to their desired situation is so big when it comes to creators. There are so many headaches and so many goals they have in their businesses. So if they found this person who can get them from here to here, they're going to be willing to pay extra for that if you make them feel like you actually understand. And honestly, the best part is that you are not scamming anybody, okay? So when you make them feel understood regarding their current and desired situations, that means that you actually understand their current and desired situations. So that means that you actually are going to be tailoring your service to this specific person, and that means that the service is going to be a lot more valuable to them. It's going to be worth actually more, not you just adding, price on top of it for the sake of it. Regarding what to say in your price, I wouldn't, honestly, like all these intricacies that you've figured out, my framework always, like, let's say, I'm gonna give you an example just because it's gonna be easier. Let's say you're charging right now 400 per video. That's your sort of normal price for talking head videos, and you're obviously looking to raise that. So the next logical step would be 450 or 500 for your next clients. But you just started talking with this guy, and he basically needs talking head videos, which is exactly what you do, but he needs them done a bit simpler. He doesn't need a crazy amount of animations or just something else where it's just going to be simpler. I would still definitely, like, this is the point of this video, right? Just make them feel understood on this and position yourself as this, but I wouldn't be adjusting your price to that. So I wouldn't be thinking, okay, right now I'm charging 400 per video, but since this is a bit simpler, it would probably be more like 300, but then since I want to be raising my prices, I probably should say 350 to him. I wouldn't be thinking all that. I would just say 500, because like genuinely, I'm telling you, the fact that you understand them, it makes the service that much better that you're providing, and it makes it that much more valuable for them. You want to be raising your prices, which is totally fair. Right now, you're charging 400 per video. You want to be charging 500 per video. So don't pay attention to all these small like details of how many animations they need or what's going to be their turnaround time. Let's say, I don't know, this never happened to me personally, but just came up an example in my head where they maybe can say something like, I don't need videos delivered to be very fast, so can I pay you less? Or maybe something like that can come up in your head where you think, okay, the deadline is going to be long, so I don't need to charge as much because I'm going to have more time to edit videos. Or the opposite with short deadlines. Okay, the deadline is going to be short, so I'm not going to have as much time to deliver the video, so it's not going to be as good, so I can't charge as much. I wouldn't pay attention to any of that. Just say the price, whatever is going to sort of get you excited to work on this project. And usually that's a bit more than you've gotten paid already for similar or even a bit more complex type of projects, like in the example that I just described. Anyways, hopefully this was useful, and definitely try this out. It's not going to help you just in video editing, closing video editing clients, but in life in general. If you try to help people out and if you try to make them feel understood, they're going to be valuing you more because you're literally going to be more valuable to them. And obviously in video editing, this is going to lead you to closing more clients and making more money. If you want my personal help to scaling to 5 to 10K per month, and you're already making at least 1K per month, then click the first link in the description and I'm gonna see you there. But even if not, hopefully you found this video valuable, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.